Now it's 10:30, we back. Spin that back show, all the classics on track. From 79 to 99, we're crossing the gap. Album reviews, little known facts, hip-hop attack. Saturday mornings, dive into the history, samples and stories, old school mysteries. Spin that back show, we keeping it real. Every Saturday, 10:30, you know the deal. With album reviews and stories untold. Hip-hop legends, the greats and the bold. Catch us reminiscing, breaking it down. East to west coast, the underground sound. From Grandmaster Flash to Nas Big Prize. Unveiling truth, no disguise.
Uh-oh. Look like we back again. It's the Spin That Back show. Thank y'all for tuning in once again, 10:30 Saturday morning. It's the El Pooh, and we got Mr. Nice Guy here. And hit that like and subscribe button. We really do appreciate it. If y'all like what you hear, chime on in. Come on in. Spend some time with us. Check it out, bro. What's going on with you, Mr. Nice Guy? How you doing there today?
Hey, man, just getting ready for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? It's starting it all off. So it's a great way to start it off, doing some Spin That Back, talking about some old school hip hop from our era. We talk about the recorded era hip hop. That's from 1979 to 1999. That's the Spin That Back era.
Yes, sir. And that's what we're doing here on that Spin That Back show, Spin That Back. And check it out. Like I said, we're going to be talking about the Fugees. Brother, the Fugees. Before I get to that first album, let me just bring them up here. Fugees. Lauryn Hill, Wyclef, and Pras. And let's give you a little background on them. So it started off with Lauryn Hill and Pras. Was it somebody else in the group? And then they brought Wyclef in later? Oh, Mr.
Yes,
Walk. Mr. Walk is in the house.
I snuck him in on you.
Back one time. Mr. Walk is in the house. Mr. Walk, how you doing there, brother?
What up, brother? Sorry, I had to run to the store real quick.
That's okay, brother. I know you gotta get you fixed and everything. So what's going on?
Oh,
We're talking about the Fugees, bro.
Oh, Fugees. Okay, Fujala. We'll say, damn. Yeah, I remember them for sure.
So they the original. So Lauryn Hill and Pras, they first met at Columbia High School in Maplewood, New Jersey. So Pras, Lauryn, and a mutual friend, Marcy Harriel or something like that. Their musical group was called The Time. It was a trio. They later on added Pras's cousin, Wyclef Jean.
Wyclef John, bro, John.
Wyclef John, and then they became like the Translator Crew and ultimately the Fugees. But the Fugees would play on Refugees. So the Fugees.
Yes, sir. Okay. And they released their first album. What year was that?
Let's see. Blunted on Reality. It was 1994.
1994. Blunted on Reality. And they said it sold wood. They said it sold 12 copies. And I didn't buy it.
I remember they had a little whack video. I remember a song. They used to play a little whack video.
Man, Nappy Heads. Yeah, that was Nappy Heads. The remix. The Nappy Heads remix, that was a
They had a couple of songs, bro.
They had
before then, I think they had this song called Vocab. We got the Vocab. That's the first time I heard of them. They had a song called Vocab. Yeah,
that was pretty cool. I vaguely remember. I remember seeing them three and the little cute girl. You know what I mean? I remember it, but it was nothing standing out at that time. But
only thing that stood out was the girl. She was cute and she had lyrics.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yes,
she was better than them because they was like, but it was like, man, that girl kind of, she kind of spitting a little bit.
Hey, when they got into beef and people was dissing them, they were pointed out like, hey, the best rapper on your group is the chick. They would use that in their dissing, and stuff like that. Because they went after, the Fugees went after people. They were talking about Wu-Tang, talking about, it's all right to have, American names and not, having Italian names. They thought that like, Tony Stark's was like an Italian mafia name, was actually, a Marvel character name, but Johnny Blaze. Here, Johnny Blaze. Johnny Blaze is the Ghost Rider, but still. Then you had like Lex Diamond and stuff like that. So Wu-Tang was doing some of the stuff that they were saying, but they was coming at them cats.
Yeah, from playing off the mafia like Wu Gambinos, I remember. Yeah, I know what she was talking about because there was a lot of rappers that was taking offense to the Nas Escobar using, you know what I'm saying, using those names of racist mob bosses type, you know, the Gottis
Don't
and
give a
all
damn about you. Don't give a damn about you. But you're like
exactly. Yeah.
romanticizing them and using these names and stuff like that. And the things that they're doing are not particularly productive or helpful for the black community.
Right.
Oh yeah, it is what it is. But wasn't Tony Stark's Iron Man?
Yeah, that's what I said. When they were complaining about it, she was talking about Wu-Tang, but I'm saying that I think they didn't understand that Tony Stark's wasn't one of those Italian names. It just was the name of Iron Man, you know, which he referred to himself. Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, you know. I understand they could have been Italian characters, but they weren't a mafia people. They were Marvel comic characters. So I'm just saying that, you know, they had it wrong there. But I mean, you know, I applauded the fact that they were pushing back on, for lack of a better term, nigga music with of more substance. You know what I'm saying? But I still love Wu, still rock with the Wu. You know, that's what's up.
Right. And this is the first album. Is this it? Blind on Reality? Yeah, that's it. See,
that's it.
Don't even notice it because nobody picked it up. You know, it sold 12 copies. That's what they said.
I know it's crazy that, you know, they said since it sold 12,000 copies in
they said 12 copies. 12. 1, 2.
But you know, it's only sold like, I mean, over the course of time, like 130,000 copies. So that's, you know. But I honestly, going back to listening, doing research for the show, I mean, the first 4 or 5 songs, I thought they were bangers. And I thought that, you know, they did a very good job. Just, you know, the energy of everybody and all of this stuff. I mean, I was impressed. But really, there's only one standout song on this album that people kind of know, Walk kind of distant. But, you know, Nappy Heads, you know, the remix, I think it is a classical, you know, hip hop single, MTV video type joint. So, you know, salute to that.
And what was the Salam Remy? What is that his name that made it?
Oh, you know, I should pull it up.
I think it's Salam Remy. Anyway, shout out to him. He had all kinds of bangers. Anyway, yeah. So this album was so
it was. You are correct.
It was weak in a sense because we only know like 2 songs off here, really. Everything else, I mean, it's cool though. It bangs in a sense because it's got that early 90s, you know, vibe and everything, the energy and everything. All the people like doing a little ad libs and everything. It's cool, but even I think Wyclef or Pras, one of those, said it was cool until Buckshot came out and said, "I'm an beneath the back, come follow me." When he came with that slow flow, said that was it. That was it.
Yeah, that was kind of like. That was kind of like on that backpacker type of vibe, like, you know, nappy heads and you know, we smoke all day, like a hippie. It was sort of a hippie vibe, and you know, like I didn't know that they was Haitian. I thought they was from, like, you know, Connecticut, not Connecticut, but like from Florida or something. Just from how they look, you know, like they. So, but I mean, I'm talking about that. Just that first album, just to me wasn't that good, but you know, of course, that second one was that one. You know what I mean? Can deny it.
The first thing we gotta talk about is really the second album, because the second album we can actually spend some time talking about because
let's spin that back. Let's spin it back real quick. Let's give a little history about Lauryn Hill. Y'all know she was an actor. She did like a few movies. She was in
Sister Act.
Yes, with Whoopi Goldberg.
You know, she was singing she went to the Apollo when she was like, what, 13, 12, 13?
Apollo, yes.
Wasn't she like on Star Search or something like that? You know, so
like that too.
I think so. Yeah. So, you know.
She was already the one.
Yeah.
Her and Paz were the beginning of the group, but yeah, you know, so yeah, but you said she was the one that was already, you know, working her legacy out. You know what I'm saying? So.
Mm-hmm. And then allegedly, let's just throw this out there, she started messing with Wyclef, and
that's later. Well, that's all later.
Yeah, we'll come to that later. We'll come to that later because you know, we'll talk about it. It's kind of important because basically, I mean, he's a married man, but he's still married to her.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You know, so you know.
So not to do no injustice to the first album, it was a good album. I recommend y'all might want to check it out. But there ain't nothing we can talk about because I don't know no songs on there. I didn't get it. I'm sorry. It went wood.
Except for Nappy Heads, the remix,
Yeah,
the
Nappy Head.
vocab.
I
And
know
vocab really the remix of vocab. You know, the album, you know, a lot of these groups, you know, were kind of like figuring it out, you know, because you know there was really no great blueprint as far as we were transitioning to the next way of hip hop, so to speak. And you know, a lot of these people kind of were doing what they're doing, and then they figured it out on the remix, sort of like Arrested Development. You know, the verses on the album are not necessarily the ones that you hear and like. You know, they fixed it like Karis once said. I'm not something and then fix it in the remix, but you know they did fix it in the remix. But when you talk about this other album, did you ever research and see what it was on what its mic rating from the source?
For the first one or the second one?
No. We don't want to know what the first one. We're talking about the second one. Let's skip to it. Let's go ahead and talk about the score.
Yeah, we might as well just go ahead and talk about this one. This second album was called This Is a Classic Album, The Score. Now, this we can spend a little time on. So, this is when they matured. This is 1996. What was the first song off this album that y'all remember?
Boy.
I mean, first release. I mean, we can go through the order, but
because my only problem is that I don't remember what came off first, because it seems like so many of these songs ended up being sort of like singles and coming out of it. Because
yeah, it just got put together, right?
Well, I see the date. So Fugees La, that was the first song. That's an amazing song. That's an amazing song. So you know, that's like, man. So then, you know, yeah. So Fugees La, Killing Me Softly, Ready or Not. Those are the songs that kind of really like, you know, remind you of what was going on with this. So I mean, and this album blew up. I mean, again, MTV ate this album, you know. So it just, you know, it was a big deal.
This album was a classic album right here. Actually,
it was a classic.
In fact, let's start it off. The red intro. I don't forgot about the intro, but how many MCs? When I first heard that, yo, Lauren tore that up. In fact, I know she got this. She got the quotable, hip hop quotable for that one.
Oh wow, yeah,
I saw that. I read that right there in the little store right there on La Cienega, off of 18,
yeah,
28 Cadillac.
Oh man, I remember that.
I was reading that hip hop quotable. Like, yo, Lauren, yeah. Mm-hmm. I heard it, but then I read the lyrics. I'm like, damn, she got lyrics.
Yeah, she was
killed it. Like I don't know. I never heard she didn't write her rhymes or nothing like that, but she was lyrically on point. You know what I'm saying? And the way that song was done, it sounded like it was like a one take. Somebody put the beat on. Let me spit some shit real quick. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of the feel you got from that. It was hard.
I'll tell you like this: she should have been writing their rhymes.
Definitely writing prizes.
He was the big
She comes off number one on that track, and then I think it goes to Prize, and then Wyclef and Prize. I don't know. Because when she got through with it, she just slammed the mic down. It was done on that song.
Yeah. And in Praz's defense, I mean, he was definitely, in my opinion, the weakest lyricist. But you know, he did have some flavor to it, and he did stumble across some lines. So you know, I want to give props to him. I do think he completed the group, but you know, there's levels to this, and that's why we distinguish. You know, I mean, El Boogie was on a whole nother level with it. But you was gonna go into Ready or Not.
Well, I was getting ready to say it was kind of like Fife Dog. Oh, I'm sorry.
Ouch.
So, Ready or Not. Then you got Lauren right there singing, you know, the Ready or Not, Here I Come. You know,
that is so, like when you hear it, like just the intro, her singing, it sounds so beautiful. And then with the beat, you're gonna find that you used to hear that song every damn where. What year was that? That was like
96.
96.
Yeah. Everywhere you go, the radios is killing it, the video, everything, man. That song, that's history right there. Like 100 years from now, that shit's still gonna sound sonically just perfect. Straight up. I love that. That was a definite hit right there.
Oh, and don't get it wrong. How many mics had a good beat too? I like the beat. The beat was
Yeah.
But yeah, radio, not just that way it started off and everything, and then the beat come in and just drops. Oh man, it's just what you gotta say about it, Mr.
You know, I'm trying to find out. I want to know how many mics this got, because to me, this probably deserved to be a 5-micer. You know what I'm saying? It had to. I mean, because this, you know, they won the Grammy on this one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, it was album of the year.
Is that the song they got sued for from? It was that okay, yeah, because they Pride said in the interview, he said we didn't think she would never hear it because
that was the Enya.
Huh? In Ireland or
the
something.
artist. Yeah, Enya. That was the name of the art. Enya is the artist.
Yeah.
Enya. So that's the artist.
But she,
you know,
she was from Ireland. But then they was blowing up so much, they performing in Ireland. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But
she got 2 bullets because Enya, what you call Eminem, had basically did the song off of her stuff as well. You know, I think Stan or something like that. You know, so she hip hop. They brought some Enya.
Yeah, she wanted them to take that song off the record. She wanted to, but it was too late. It was already out there. It was blown up. So they ended up settling with her. They gave her $3 million. That was the
That's why she's got writer credits on this song.
Yeah. Hey, I'd have been like, give my credit, my man. Oh, y'all have fun with that song, baby. Love y'all. Shit.
All right, then number 4 was Zealots. I don't remember that one too much. And then The Beast was a cool little song.
Yeah.
Then Fugees was a banger.
Oh
too.
yeah. Lauryn Hill kind of, that was like a perfect blend. You know what I mean? She kind of, I'm gonna say that she made up for Prize. She carried the weight for Prize. And like, you know,
she countered. But again, I do think he was a decent garnishment. I wouldn't want to take him off the group, but I hear what you're saying. Yeah, now she did. She offset it.
Right.
Right. Salam Remy. So this is another one of his joints.
Salam Remy was a bad boy. I got to give it up to him one more time. In fact, he did a lot of that Amy Winehouse stuff too. Oh
wow.
And then the next song was Family Business, which is featuring John Forte and Omega.
John Forte. I remember, yeah.
Now John Forte, he's one of the refugee all-stars, him and Cannabis. Mm-hmm. That's a crazy combination. But John Forte was actually doing a lot of writing for them. He was doing some production for them. So, when I think of John Forte, I think of mostly of that song 99 Balloons. That was a dope ass song. So,
when I think of John Forte, I think of his ass getting arrested.
Okay, huh?
Got your 14 years.
I remember he had them dreads and he was like trying to hide his face with them damn dreads. But hey, man, when that money started running out, you got to you think about the streets. You got some people just revert back to what they know, Yeah.
Hey, Walk. George Bush commuted him. George Bush.
Oh, he did? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Only on the Spin That Back show would you hear this right here.
So George Bush does care about black people.
With money.
With money.
Right.
Then the next song was another song we heard on the radio. I mean, you just couldn't escape. Killing Me Softly. Oh my God. Man. When it first came, it
was over. That's it. No,
the beat and everything is just a bang. It got that Benita Applebum beat.
Yeah.
It's just,
burn.
it was a perfect song. It was a perfect blend. But then after I got the album, that's the one I kind of like skipped over because it was on the radio so much. It was like, man, I'm gonna hear this in 5 minutes anyway. So then came, you flip it over. I had the cassette. Flip it over. First song was The Score. Diamond D.
One of my favorite producers.
Yeah.
By the way, so that's what's up.
Flipped up that sample. Oh boy, that was clever. That was a Samande sample. I think it's called Dove, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, then you had The Mask, which was another cool little song. Then you had Cowboys, which has some outsiders, Pace One, Young Z, and Raw Digger was on there. Yeah,
Oh wow, yeah.
yeah.
You
They
know,
had a
I
few
don't remember none of the other ones after Killing Me Softly. I really don't
right.
remember some of these songs. I would have to actually hear it because I remember I listened to the album a few times. I had the tape. I had it. I just can't remember it like right now. Damn.
Yeah, I bought this one. I wasn't
Mm.
really playing it a whole lot, but you could hear the singles on, radio and stuff. Like as a
Yeah.
DJ, obviously you're gonna play what you're gonna play. So the main ones, I got a lot of exposure to them. A lot of the other songs on the album, I didn't really get a lot of exposure to, but in playing them after the fact and preparing for the show, I mean, these are like top quality songs. They're holding up. They still sound good. You know what I'm saying? Like Walk says all the time. The stuff that you used to like back then, you listen to it now and you're like, I'm just saying that some of this stuff holds up. So
Yeah, if you listen to this, a good album.
This
great
is
production.
this is a great album.
Spin that back.
It not only won a Grammy, it won the Soul Train Music Award too.
Yes, it did.
Actually, no, it was nominated. It was it won the Grammy. It's only nominated for the Soul Train.
I think "Killing Me Softly" was the reason why it won. Did it win the album of the year or "Killing Me Softly"?
It won album of the year. They won for best rap album. They won for the Grammys.
Okay, yeah.
They were nominated for album of the year in the Grammys. They didn't win for album of the year, but they won for best rap album for the Grammys.
I know they had a lot of nominations that year, at least about 4 of them, something like that.
Hey, this was a group that they came so far. It's kind of great that first album is out there just to show you the progression musically. From that point in time to this other point in time, because they found their voice. They figured out who they were, and they did that. And they took that success into some solo projects that had great success.
Which we're about to get to, actually.
At least 2 of them.
After that was like a Manifest, an outro, then some remixes, and then a song called Mr. Mister. And that's about it for that album. Great album. It's called The Score. Let me put that up one more time because I want y'all to go ahead and check this out. Yeah, The Score. Check that out. And it went diamond, I think, too.
Yes.
All right, so what was next on there? They went solo. What was the first solo?
So I think the first one was
before they went solo. I think they started making these the Refugee All Stars. They started doing like stuff from soundtracks and stuff, right?
Yeah, but the beginning of it was Wyclef's. So if you pull up his album cover, because you'll see on there it says featuring the Refugee All Stars. So they were really kind of a collective. They didn't have like a Refugees All Star album, but that's why you see Wyclef in the background of that Cannabis video when he's dissing LL and stuff like that, because that was their collection. But I mean, Cannabis, he's talking about we were performing, we were doing shows, but I wasn't making a whole bunch of money, so it wasn't necessarily terribly lucrative for them, And that was sort of like the fallout, which is always usually the fallout, music, money. But so the Carnival is the album. So you can bring it up. Let's bring up
the track list. I got the track list here. I didn't know this album. I didn't listen to it. I heard a whole lot of songs because there was a few songs on the radio, and that was enough for me. Like I say, these dudes was dominating the radio at this time. It was Wyclef.
Oh, wait a second. We didn't say wasn't no women, no cry on that on the Score.
Oh yeah, no woman, no cry.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, that was a single. So and that was kind of a dope. That was a dope take on it. You know what I'm saying? So so now, sorry to bring us back, but now we can go back to the Score or the Carnival.
Yeah, to the Carnival. But like I said, I didn't listen to his album. So you got something to add to this? You got the track list up? I got like the intro, Clef intro.
So let me pull this up. Sorry about that. So Wyclef.
In fact, let me make a run. I'll be right back, y'all.
All right. So here we go. Let's do Carnival. Sorry about that. Because this is an album that really kind of blew up, especially on MTV. I didn't know a whole bunch about it. I mean, I remember the songs that made it to me, but in listening to it, this is a song that sonically is really music and professional. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you gotta understand that hip hop, there was a time where we were just looping. And we still figured out a way to do dope stuff with looping. But in the 90s, people was catching cases. So they really had to start learning the art of chopping. So the art of chopping really didn't play out till like the 90s and stuff like that. But this dude was also, you know, he was doing that, but he was also bringing all, he was a guitar player. So you can hear the finger going across the strings and all this other stuff. So he was bringing a lot of instrumentation to this. So I'm just saying that this sonically, this is extremely mature, you know, music. And I mean, you know, he did it. So yeah, the one single, the Guantanamera, that was a dope ass song.
Oh yeah.
And he had a remix to it too.
Yeah. So you know,
radio. Like I said, he was on the radio. He was dominating the radio at this time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was a big deal. And this was the time when he was sort of like the big star. And this is when probably, you know, Lauryn Hill, you know, kind of, even though it's like you were with the guy, you see him as a regular guy. And I'm not saying you became a groupie or nothing, but, you know, the bottom line is he was a very artistic, talented dude. And, you know, something happened and there was fallout.
He played the strings out of those guitars and everything. So he do his thing. And you may
definitely. Didn't he do that song with what's the Spanish guy?
Carlos Santana.
Yeah. Right. That's all around the same time. I'm not sure if that was
going up. He was going up. He produced Destiny's Child, one of their first songs. Oh no. Yes, whatever.
I know. He was the guy that broke him out. He was the one that he sort of like introduced him, so to speak.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like you said that before. I'm thinking like, dang, he was the one that sort of like debuted him.
Exactly. Yeah, shout out to Wyclef, man. He was the man.
Ooh, that's a big deal.
I got to think about this. This is right after Pac got killed, you know, a year before. Big had just got killed. And then he came in and kind of, you know, did his thing. Mm-hmm. Him, you know, you had Puffy and them. But this was like an alternative to that Puffy stuff. Alternatives, you know. And Death Row was dead at that time. So Death Row had just died. You know, when Pac left, Death Row died. Sorry. So West Coast was kind of like in limbo. I think Q probably, you know, started producing, you know, making some tracks.
Well, Ice Cube was, I mean, it's not Ice Cube, but what you call it, Dre. I mean, that's when he wasn't that Aftermath after Death Row.
Yeah.
Aftermath.
Like 97, 98.
But they say Aftermath was even though it went platinum, it was a flop for Dre. And I know this last album was even worse. Anyway, let's not talk about that. Yeah, let me go ahead and get myself a slap back. So anyway.
So you know, and he had people like, you know, I'm saying it out of order, but just because to let you know the people he had on it. I mean, he had like the Neville Brothers on that Mona Lisa song. Mm-hmm. You know, he had Lauryn Hill. So this is when they were still cool and stuff like that. So, you know, he you know, this was his big sort of like MTV breakout. You know, he was doing big things on this one.
Yeah. Like you said, he had that Mona Lisa. He had Going to November.
Yeah, Gone to November. That was like his big song. So yeah, that was a big single from this. And it literally was about how, like, look, you got to understand, you know, I'm out there on tour, so you're not going to see me for a long time, but, you know, hold it down. And when I'll be back, I'll be back. But, you know, you're getting in trouble, you know, and that's why he made that song To All the Girls. You know, so,
namely his wife.
Yeah, exactly.
And the first song that he had released off here was Staying Alive. That's the first one I heard, Staying Alive, when he used that doom, 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 that Staying Alive beat.
Yeah. And they were rocking that sort of like, I want to say it wasn't like house, but it was kind of house, you know what I'm saying? Like New York really had like a house movement. You know, they really rocked with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like we out here really embrace house like they did, but, you know, They were doing that, you know what I'm saying? And that's the Refugee All-Stars who was on that too. So John Forte, Praza's on that joint, you know, so, you know.
You call that house? I call that disco.
Well, that's what house is. House is disco beat, you know what I'm saying? It's the same vibe, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we're on the West Coast. You know, it didn't resonate with us like that. I mean, I don't know where the Nat came from, but they were the ones that officially were the people that killed disco, you know, with rock and stuff like that. So I always associate that with the West Coast with just moving away from disco. But I remember there was definitely a house movement where New Yorkers were, you know, they were doing that. I mean, all of these people had like house songs at the time. Latifah had a house song. You know, De La Soul had a house song, Dissing House. But I'm just saying that, you know, it was, you know, but it's just, you know, it was a movement, and I feel like like they had that whole vibe. So you're right, disco house, they're kissing cousins.
Yeah, true. All right, but like I said, I didn't really rock this album. It was a whole lot of songs on this album. Looked like about 24. It's like a double album.
I would go back and play it because I'm telling you, this song is extremely sonically mature. It's great. I didn't realize it was as great as it was, but it's not Lauren. It's not Miseducation of Lauryn Hill great, but it's like not that far off. You know what I'm saying? So it's really surprising, you know. But it did get a lot of praise. So this is what was a great accomplishment. But then let's talk about. I know we can all talk about this next album right here. You gonna put up that picture?
If you're talking about what I'm thinking you're talking about.
We're gonna talk about this album right here. This is one of the greatest albums of all time, period. You know, this is if it wasn't a 5-micer, I'm pretty sure it was, but you know, this is one of the greatest albums of all time. I'm not even gonna say it's the greatest hip-hop album time, which it is one of the greatest hip-hop albums of time. It's one of the greatest music albums of all time. This was a masterpiece. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we can bring up the tracks for this stuff, and we'll be able to talk on probably almost every single song.
Okay, well, let's bring the picture down so we can talk about it. So yeah, so it's the intro on here. Like I said, I'm not good with intros.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't do intros. I would usually, as a DJ, I would cut those things out. So I would, you know, my CD or whatever playing, I just remove all that stuff. I get to the get.
I don't even think I put this one I probably did put on because it's like telling the story, because I do remember that. Then you go into Lost Ones, which is somebody said the only rap song on this album. It's the only strictly rap song on this album. But you know,
I mean, they're singing in the chorus too, so it's like that's kind of like a bad logic.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. It really is.
Now, the reason why I wanted to point out the fact that L Boogie was still cool with Wyclef during the carnival, she wasn't at the time that this album dropped. In case you didn't know, the Lost One is a diss song about Wyclef.
Yes.
And she destroys him on this song.
Well, how she started off, she says, it's funny how money's changed the situation. I know what she said. I forgot the rest of it.
I'm telling you, she killed him. And not only did she kill him, I remember Brick Walls was in the barbershop with Wyclef. And they were putting this song on, and he's literally like talking about, man, she's killing me on this song. You know what I'm saying? Just like whatever. And he's just acknowledging it. And it's like, it's such a great song. They still perform it, even though it's like a diss to him, because, you know, it's a great song. You know what I'm saying? You just got to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, man. But I mean, it is a banger. I mean, it is just the whole beat, how it just doubles up on you and comes off, and every aspect of this song is just amazing. It's a classic joint. One of the one of the dopest diss songs of all creation.
It sounded like a production that KRS would have been on or something.
Right. That beat. Yeah. But here's the thing about the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. She actually, like, the cover of the book of her album is from a book called The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter Woodson.
Yeah.
Yep. It's all, but you know, but it's a very educated album. She spends some knowledge. You know what I'm saying, about the strippers. You talking all in there. She's sleeping with the jinn, the devil. She had some jewels and preaching to our young sisters what to do and what not to do. And here she goes. She was sleeping with a married man.
He slipped it in there, man. He slipped it in there. I mean, and that was messy.
Not only did she sleep with him, she put it out on record. Go ahead now. Go ahead, bro.
I mean, it's like, I don't, you know, the fact that they're still together, I really don't want to speak on it. You know what I'm saying? Because we talk about Black love. I love the fact that they've endured this. And of course, in my culture, you know, it wasn't clean, but it wasn't a violation because she wasn't a married woman. You know what I'm saying? So it was still within the boundaries of acceptability. But I just understand the messiness of it, and she became very sort of like emotional, hurt, and spiteful because it and that energy. She sort of did a Taylor Swift. She used that energy and created a big song behind it. So that's what she did, and it's a classic song. So
and actually, I think the next song was about him too. It's called "The X Factor."
Yeah. Well, again, this was an album he had zero to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
She brought in a team of people. You talking about Bob Marley? Which not Bob Marley? Which Marley is it?
The thing was Ziggy or Sean.
Yeah, Ziggy Marley. Yeah, one of them. Yeah, but for some reason I don't have the disc. Even though I pulled it up, the discography with all the title and stuff. Oh, here we go. Sorry, what were you saying? What were you saying, El Poo?
I don't know what Marley was. I forgot his name.
Yeah, but it was one of them. But I mean, she brought in a whole team, and it turns out first of all, this is a great album. But it turns out there was a lot of controversy and a lot of anguish in putting this together. Because when you talk to the engineers and all of this stuff, they were like talking about that she was such a diva. One of the things that people loved about her, just as a fan, you really felt that she was a down-to-earth, sort of like girl next door type of person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, you had, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Well, you had Razzcast talking about, I want a girl with a body of a whore and a face like Lauren. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, she was like Ginger to Marianne to Ginger type situation, but they made it seem like she was such a diva. They were like, you had to call her Mrs. Hill or Miss Hill or something like that. And just, there were so many ridiculous rules that were going on in the background. People taking credit saying that, she really didn't even do this. This is what was us. And this is why she couldn't even duplicate it because, she couldn't even follow it up with nothing because she couldn't duplicate it. But, I don't know nothing about it. I don't really want to speak on no gossip. I just know that this all came together like Voltron. It was like amazing. You know what I'm saying? So, X Factor, dope. Last One's dope. And then you got To Zion, which is a very emotional song featuring Carlos Santana. So Carlos Santana, he had like a comeback, at least, like in mainstream, or should I say black mainstream, because you had that the other song that he did, that you were just talking about with Wyclef.
Right.
Well, shout out to Santana because he's a big name in the rock world. You know what I'm saying?
Big. Legendary name. Salute
and
to
if
that.
y'all know that the song called Suavecito, that's by his brother, Malo. That was a Santana brother. Anyway, so what was next on there after that?
Doo-wop, that thing.
Oh my God.
I can almost hear my daughter singing the song. She used to love the song as a little kid.
The radio was just full of this. I mean, every 5 years you just heard this song over and over and over and over.
I loved it. This is a single. That literally the record single was Doo-wop and Lost Ones. That was a banger to just drop off like that. I mean, because both of them was basically like a single in its own, but you literally had them on the same vinyl.
Yeah, love the video. She was playing two roles. She's like the old school singers. So it was like I forgot the name of the group that she was the Mary. Damn, I can't remember.
Supremes.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the video was great. Everything that she did on that was like big star back then. Big hit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She was Beyonce before Beyonce, but she just fell off.
And the thing about it, she was such a perfect combination of rapping and singing. You know what I'm saying? She was great at both. So she has songs that really held up with just her singing and songs that held up with just her rapping. You know what I'm saying? She was a real all-around talent,
Yeah.
Right.
And props to Latifah because she can sing too.
I be telling people Latifah was Lauryn Hill before Lauryn Hill was that, because Latifah was singing. I mean, she did albums where strictly she was only singing, and she has a very good voice, very dope rapper. I mean, her first few songs, Wrath of My Madness and Princess of the Posse, they got all that singing in the chorus. I mean, these were my joints. Man, I love Latifah.
Okay, the next song was Superstar, which I can't say much about. Don't really remember it. Final Hour. I'm pretty sure the whole album is dope. Don't get me
The
wrong.
whole album is dope. So even if some of these things don't necessarily stand up that we remember certain things just got a whole lot more play than other stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really burnt into your soul more. You know what I'm saying? But I really felt like this was like a kind of a no skipper type album. You know,
Right. Because it gets emotional. Like the next song, When It Hurts So Bad, it's the girl got some good music. I used to love him. Oh my God, there she go talking about Wyclef again.
Featuring Mary J. Blige. Hey, Pain will you can say what you want about pain and drugs, but these have inspired artists to great music and great art. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not condoning it, but I'm glad that people have turned it into some positive thing. You know what I'm saying? That's like etched in stone and will live forever.
Yeah.
And don't forget, she got little skits in between these songs and stuff where she got like little kids in the classroom, they talking and talking about everyday life and everything. It's just it's emotional. It's a good thing. Okay, When It Hurts So Bad. Oh my God, I used to love him. Let me see. Forgive Them, Father. Every Ghetto, Every City. I think she was actually rapping in there too.
Yeah.
Okay, and then she got one right here with D'Angelo, Nothing Even Matters. Love this song right here. This song was
It's a great collab. This dude was super hot at this point in time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you had two people blazing coming together, just dope artists. You know what I'm saying? Doing dope things.
This is one of the dopest ones on the album for me. This is why I'll probably even bang this after the show. Then you had another song that was on the radio just continuously. Everything Is Everything.
Everything Is Everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Good songs. Good song.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That was another song.
Hey, Walk, I gotta thank you for stopping me from sounding as ignorant I was gonna be. As far as you talking about the reference, the miseducation of Lauryn Hill about that book, that's I should have just took my money and ran with it. How intelligently you put that out of there, because I was thinking about the miseducation of Sonny.
Funny, I don't get who's that.
That movie, it's a classic 70s movie where like a lot of rappers be quoting it's a gang movie, but it's like it's the misadventures of Sonny. I almost said Listen. It's not Listen, but it's Sonny. I forgot what the name. But this is a classic sort of like black exploitation type movie where it's like a coming of age movie. And I mean, the quotes from this movie, Wu-Tang, all the stuff he's talking about should fly your head and all this other stuff. It comes from. So this is a classic movie. So I'm sitting there the whole time thinking that she's like doing a twist on this, and she's doing something way more intelligent.
Right.
I just want to confess that he almost saved me, but I'm throwing myself on the flame. So that's
We're gonna give you a special spin that back. Thought you should have known.
That's a classic movie, though, man. The Miseducation of Sonny, whatever. No, classic movie. Go check it out.
And then the last one basically is Can't Take My Eyes Off You, which was on the radio too all the time.
Great cover.
Hey man, they had a lot of stuff on the radio, a whole lot of stuff. And then after that, your boy Pras came out with
Oh.
Ouch. So you talking about they followed up the Score, which in my opinion was a 5 mic album. Then you had the Carnival, which was very up there. You know what I'm saying? Then you had, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is definitely 5 micer. If it wasn't, it'd be an absolute tragedy. And then you followed up with Pras, and I don't know how to say it other than just to say it, but I mean that was a drop off.
Well, they had some placements on some soundtracks and stuff too.
Oh yeah, Bullsworth.
Money Talks.
Yeah,
Bullsworth, Money Talks. But no, hey, that song "Ghetto Superstar" is a dope song. You had one of the baddest females on the planet on there.
Oh yeah, my ex.
In fact, you know what? They didn't do a whole album, but they did a whole lot of songs on the Love Jones soundtrack, if I remember right. They had the
yeah, exactly. That's right.
Song
Right.
called
That's
Love
true.
Jones, and they had a couple of
Love Jones. I do remember that.
Yeah,
you're right. They did do that. So they didn't have their own album, but they definitely did, some stuff on that.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
So Refugee All Star. And the funny thing about that song, Ghetto Superstar, like literally, Pras tells you that they were recording that song, and ODB just was recording in another, like, in another room, like in the same studio, just in another sort of like whatever.
He stumbled into the wrong studio.
Yeah, stumbled into the wrong studio.
When he was like in LA, he thought he was in New York or something like that.
It's something crazy. I mean, you if you don't know ODB, you miss something. This dude was a national treasure for us. I mean, he did some things. The way he bum rushed the Grammy, he'll always be a legend for that. But he literally bum rushed their session and just end up you guys are doing a professional album. I'm gonna just throw myself out. I'm gonna just go on there and just spit, do some stuff. And his verse is probably the most memorable, other thing outside of Maya singing.
Yeah, they say he did it like backwards. He did like his ad libs first, then he came back and did his, filled it in. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
ODB
that dude was crazy. He was crazy, but he was a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to that brother, and condolences to his family.
The great. Yes, sir. So Pras had, Ghetto Superstar. That was, what else can you name from Pras?
I mean, it's really Ghetto Superstar. I listened to that album and I was, man, I'm not gonna do I'm not gonna be as hard on it as Walk would be, but the way that Walk talks about certain things when he's not a fan of it, that was my emotional reaction to it. It was not in my opinion, was not a good album. It definitely didn't resonate with me. I don't think
I ever heard it.
And but I will say,
I couldn't even do it for the show prep. Sorry, I couldn't do
it. But it did have that sort of New York house vibe. So I really think that even though it didn't resonate with me, I think that he might have been touching on something that was going on in New York at the time. Because there's a repeated, we talk about avenues, you know what I'm saying, where it had that house vibe, call it disco vibe. This song had that, or since this album had a bunch of those songs. And Staying Alive had that vibe, and the Ghetto Superstar had, whatever. So, he did it. But I mean, it just didn't work for me.
Yeah, well, I didn't hear too much from him either. Just that one song, and that was about it. But I did hear that he had got into some trouble, let's say like that, some financial troubles or something.
Yeah, wasn't just him. It wasn't just him. I mean, you talked about John Forte before him, but and then he got into. But yes, you know the details of it. That's what I said. I was telling El Pula that he got caught up in some scam type thing. If he wasn't doing it, he got sucked into it. I think he was like promoting it or something, and sort of like a
DJ Envy doing.
DJ, yeah. Was it the same thing?
No, it's something like that. It's like because they using his face because he was popular. But it was some guys behind the scenes that was running scams on people, But he had plausible deniability. I think he had to do some time for that, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know, but he had plausible deniability because allegedly they said he was an informant.
Oh, man, this is coming together. I remember stuff like this.
See, there was a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Now, I'm not making that claim. I'm just saying what I heard. Like I said, allegedly. I'm not sure. But I know he's doing hard for money because he tried to sue Lauryn Hill just earlier this year for breach of contract for not showing up for the tour or something like that.
Yeah, because, you got to understand something. Artists eat off of tours. You may make how much you make off the album and stuff like that. A lot of times it's not necessarily a whole lot. A lot of recouping, a lot of whatever. But your food, your meat and potatoes is the tours. That's where you're making money, and a lot of it's coming to you. And when you have that show, whatever, you have that tour, and El Boogie cancels it for whatever, you taking food off his plate.
Right. Because he know they're not coming to see him.
Exactly. Because the only thing he eating off of is the score. Just tell the truth. And probably
again, I don't want to make this about bashing about Pras. I do think he added something to the group. I think he was the weakest link, but I think he didn't drag it down. He completed it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm gonna say. That's my story.
Behind the scenes,
that's true. Producer. Well, he brought in Wyclef. I mean, that was his cousin. So they were a group before him. So just that is an accomplishment right there. So yeah.
Well, so it is what it is on that. Y'all want to get into some 5 minutes of funk? If anybody got anything, y'all want to talk about something on this? I'm pretty
5
sure
minutes
Walk
of
probably
funk.
got something on his mind.
I got something I was chewing on.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Is Kendrick Lamar versus Drake bigger than Nas versus Jay-Z?
Yes.
Easy.
Yeah, I mean, just look,
First of
us
all,
hip hoppers. Go ahead.
okay,
Go ahead.
I was getting ready to say, first of all, it took Nas a long time to respond.
Mm-hmm.
By the time he did respond, people like me was like, I don't even want to hear it. Jay messed him up, shut him up for so long. I don't even want to hear his response. When I heard his response, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Now Jay-Z need to sit down because Jay-Z came back with that super ugly. I was like, okay. Now y'all getting a little too personal and everything. You know what I'm saying? It just got kind of corny after that.
Right,
So, yeah.
right, yeah.
I mean, because
I
look at what Kendrick got Drake out here doing, filing lawsuits, blaming his record label,
Oh man,
blaming the producer, blaming everybody dancing in his videos. I'm just saying.
I think the Kendrick Drake is bigger, and I don't think it's necessarily just because of that song. They Not Like Us. It's other facet to it because it was both big stars. Like, you know what I mean? Like to me back then, Nas and Jay-Z was on the same level. They both was, you know what I'm saying? But they was at the top. Jay-Z was making
hip hop.
Huh?
Yeah, Jay-Z. I said Jay-Z was kind of a bigger pop star than Nas, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
I mean, I felt like yeah. Go ahead. So, but I didn't mean to jump on. I shouldn't. Go ahead.
But as far as with Kendrick Lamar, I kind of feel like because Drake was definitely a sort of, you could say, bigger star, but they more it was like two big fucking titans going at it. It was more popular and bigger to me. I think this was definitely bigger than Nas and Jay-Z.
I think this blew Kendrick up even bigger than what he was.
Yeah,
because Drake to me is the number one hip hop star right now. Period. Sales and everything else. He's not the most recognized.
You said right now. You said right now.
A few months ago. Okay, before he got destroyed. Kendrick just knocked him off his. In fact, he tried to renegotiate with his with UMG, the record label. They don't want him. They like, nah, we cool.
Damn,
get out of here.
Ouch. I mean, it was a thorough thumping. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of surprising to me because we should all be able to, as hip hoppers. I understand that that's not the total audience, but you got to understand it's just like a fight. You know, these two a big prize weight fight, heavyweight, prize fight where one guy beats the other guy. They have another fight, maybe the other guy beats him, but you guys just move on. It's no big deal type situation. But this hurt Drake's career for some reason. I really can't understand. It's not like he was like known for being a battle MC or any stuff like that. He's a pop star and it's just music. But I mean, he cut to the bone. He cut to the white meat. Like he really went after him. He kind of 50 Cent Ja Ruled him. You know what I'm saying? And it was just it's mind blowing. And artistically, I mean, I think that Drake makes better songs than Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? I just, Kendrick Lamar, to me, I listen to his stuff and I think it's artistic and I like it, but I don't normally go back to you know what I'm saying? I don't normally go back to it so much. There are certain songs that will resonate with me, but for some reason, I don't necessarily go back to Drake's songs, but I'm just saying that those songs, he's got a lot of stuff that kind of holds up more.
He's got more radio appealing songs. Stuff like that, I think.
I mean, but that's his lane. It goes without saying that
he's not a rapper. He's a pop star. That's in my opinion. He came out singing, "You the best, you the best." Like, come on, bro. When I heard that, I'm like, I'm good on this dude right here. He's too soft.
You sound like DMX talking about it. He's like, I can't stand his face.
I hate the way you walk. hate the way you talk. That's what DMX said.
Yeah, DMX is going. DMX is going hard on Drake.
Yeah, but I think this beef right here is yeah.
Yeah, nah, this is honestly
It's bigger than the Drake.
This was the biggest rap beef of all time. This was the biggest. I mean, I really do think that I had no Vaseline. No one was touching no Vaseline before, but the audience that embraced Not Like Us. I'm just saying that kids play this. The whole world ran with this song. No whole world ran with any other song like they ran with Not Like Us.
I don't.
It wasn't even my favorite song in the diss.
This ain't the biggest rap beef of all time. The biggest rap beef of all time was Biggie and Pac. Period.
Man, I don't think they were as big as stars as I. The world is a bigger place than it was back in the 90s. I understand that. You understand that Pac their beef was bigger just because it was violent and real.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I'm just talking about as far as the most music beef that's based on going back and forth, where you're pitting these together. There's people that talk about Pac and Biggie, but they don't necessarily side with one or the other. With this whole thing, people sided with Kendrick Lamar. I mean, Drake actually got knocked off a pedestal that I didn't think he could get knocked off of.
Right.
Pac did Biggie all he want, but he never overtook Biggie as an artist for me. And I'm sure he did for other people. They just liked him better. But I'm just, you know what I'm saying? But Kendrick just he literally rebranded Drake. That's an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Great 5 minutes of funk walk.
So anyway, we gave some props to the refugee camp today, basically. So anyway, in fact, we want some ideas. We want y'all to put some ideas on some people we need to talk about from the golden age of hip hop, 79 to 99.
That's right.
Once again, we want to thank y'all for tuning in, liking, sharing, subscribing. If you haven't, go ahead and do that. We should be back here next weekend, 10:30, Saturday morning. And we're about to be out of here as soon as I can find my getting out of here music. Okay.
Shakira. Remember that? Peace to the Fugees.
All right, y'all. Join us next week on the Spin That Back Show. Check out the Focus Up Show next week, 9 o'clock a.m. Saturday morning, 10:30. Take us out back here.